Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Chan. This is day 18. This is part 3. U.S. versus Sean Combs. Pseudonym witness Jane Doe. Let's go. So we left off. Jane Doe had started booking her own entertainers, right? She was flying them in. Diddy was paying her back. And they were at the hotel. So then the AUSA was like, what was Sean doing? Because she said, I'll be in a uniform. She'd be dancing around and then she'll have bang bang. Child, he was pleasing himself. Then the AUSA said, then who invited him the next time? She said, I did. I would suggest Sly. He was familiar to me. So she got, okay, so this is like a survivor skill, right? If I have to do this, let me do this with somebody I know and who knows me. And then Diddy still gets what he wants. You know what I'm saying? This is so sad. Then the AUSA was like, where else did you meet Sly? Child, the new administrator's hotel. And then the AUSA was like, the administrator's hotel in New York? She said, yes, I will book his flights from Atlanta. And you paid him afterwards? She said, yes, $2,000 to $4,000. Where from? Child, objection. They know they can holler an objection. Where did you get the cash to pay Sly from? She said, from Sean, from the drawer. Sometimes we use Cash App. What? Then she was asked, was there a second adult entertainer that you reached out to? She said, yes, Anton. I think Anton Harris. It was his stage name. I don't know his real name. Child, they was watching Anton's films. And she was into him. She said she messaged him on Instagram. He was in LA. I invited him over. How did Anton respond? She said he was positive. We were in my first residence. What happened? The same. Sean watched. He was happy. And then the AUSA said, did you see Anton again? She said, yes, sometimes at a hotel in LA, sometimes in my apartment. And then the AUSA said, did you FaceTime with Anton and Sly? She said, yes, when Sean and I were alone having sexy time. Why would Sean call them? He wanted something live. Jesus Christ. Then Jane was like, I was doing like sexting, FaceTime, and screen sharing to Sean's TV. I told Sly and Anton I was alone so they would feel comfortable. Child! So he done put it on the television and he over there. Did you ask Sly and Anton to send you pictures of their private parts? She said, yes, Sean wanted them. He would say, get it. Oh my God. Then she was asked, did Anton or Sly ever send you photos of their privates when you were not with Sean? She said, yes, I was polite and flirtatious, but not as flirtatious as when I'm with Sean. Did you ever see Anton or Sly in person without Sean? She said, no. And then she was asked, are these your texts with Sly? Let me show you. So they were not shown in the gallery. She said, I was asking for explicit photos or videos from him. That's what my partner wanted. What did Sly say? He said, I'm down. So Diddy wanted videos and pictures of the men. Like, if you know that, then you kind of know how he's rolling and you still stay with him. Like, let me keep going. AUSA said, what did you say? She said, I wrote, I'm touching myself. Then what's your full name and date of birth? Why that? To book his travel. Child. Then she was booking. Jen was November the 9th, the flight. Then the AUSA was like, when you received these explicit images, were you alone? She said, yes. I sent a Blender message. Then he texted me in April of 2022. Hello, beautiful. How's your day? And the AUSA said, why did Jess book the flight? She said, I was too high to type. He's the entertainer. So he's the entertainer. So child, the AUSA asked were there other entertainers. She was like, Paul and Dunn and Diddy coordinated with others between May of 21 and October 23. How often were there hotel nights? She said often, every week, every other week. After February 2024, where did this happen? 2-star in LA. Then the AUSA was like, in the LA resident you're still living in? She said, yes. After February 2024, she said maybe 5 times. When did she have a baby? Well, she had the baby before all this. What am I talking about? Okay. Then it said, how many different men? She was like, I don't know. You don't know? Let's talk about some. Who's this? She said, done. Last time, she said August 2024 at 2 star. And then, let's go to the next frame. Then she was like, who's this? She was like, it's Paul. When was the last time? She said, end of July 2024. Before that, very often. What did you think Paul did? He was a personal trainer for Sean in LA, Miami, and Turks. So then the AUSA was like, how did Paul get there? She said he'd book his own travel or he'd already be there. Who's this? A man named Leo. I met him through Sean for one of those nights. I met him on my birthday. When was the last time you was with him? 2023. Then the AUSA was like, where did you see Leo? In LA. What else did you call him? Italian. Who's this? A guy Sean brought into a night in 2021. Then she was asked what happened. She said Sean said he had someone coming over. I was repulsed in the hotel. Then she was like, he looked sweaty. He didn't look nice. He kind of smelled. Oh my God. And then what did you do? I tried to make it work. I tried to seduce him with my body. He just kept sweating so much. I looked at my partner. I'm not feeling this. I was in lingerie and heels. What was he wearing? Nothing. Sean said, do you want to taste it? Oh my God. She said, I'm not doing this. I'm not feeling this. What did Sean do? Child, she said he laid me down and started having bang bang. Then it was like, where was the sweaty man? She said he was hovering over her. He was sweating on me. What? Then, oh my God. Then she was like, Sean told me to look at the man's private parts, but it wasn't happening. Sean told him no worries, and the man left. Then what? Sean told me he had someone else coming. After the sweaty man left, Paul came. She said she was blindfolded. Sean wanted me to touch him. Then she was like, I took a liking to Paul. I was more comfortable. I thought he was handsome and nice, and he had a warm energy. Did you want to have bang bang with him? She said no, but if I had to have bang bang with someone, I guess it wasn't so bad with Paul. So, child, all this is just more of her meeting different men. She met someone named Michael. She said she thought he was attractive. They had gone to Nobu. Sean said, we have an entertainment. I gulped and said, entertainer? What did he say? It's your birthday. I just accepted it. Why? I don't know. Upstairs, this man comes in. It was routine. Child, she said she turned into a robot. Then they asked if she needed a break and kept asking the girl questions. What do you mean robotic? I have done so many of these. I can just tune out. My partner likes to see it. I just turned on this person. What do you mean you turn into another person? She was like, a person who can just do this. And then what happened on your birthday? She was like, this new entertainer, she said it was much quicker with this person. He felt more like a stranger. She said she didn't want to do it on her birthday. So then she asked Diddy for protection. Where was he? She said he was behind this man. He gave me these dirty looks like, you better not ask for this again. I could just hear that. And then the AUSA said, what else did you hear him say? Objection overruled. So Diddy don't even care about your well-being. He don't care about your health. He doesn't care about any of this. Child, she said she did not want to sour the mood, but eventually Diddy gave her some protection. And she said he was so disappointed he had left, right? She said then the man left. We switched rooms to a bigger suite. And what happened then? Sean was more loving. He was celebratory. Oh, Jesus. Child, she said he had a cake and there were balloons, and then Sly comes in. Child, this is her birthday. She said she was doing hours and hours of this, right? To please this guy. Her partner, foreplay, going back and forth till morning. And what did Sean say? That Don was coming. So after she finished with that person, here comes Don. What did you say? Nothing. Like, it's fine. Why? She said, I love my partner. What did you do with Don? Bang, bang. Let's break for lunch. Woo, child, the jury left. Jane leaves. Diddy's lawyers, could we have a quick sidebar about something? The judge said yes. We'll have to do it after lunch later, but they're threatening to throw Diddy out of the courtroom for looking at the jury and nodding at the witnesses. This is a mess. It's your girl Millie Chun. I'll talk to you later. Bye.